You know, all of my best content, everything that I should be recording, usually happens when I'm not recording. So, I'm going up a steep grade right now, and I can only go 35 miles per hour. But I was just thinking, I'm kind of, my other half is she's having a hard time dealing with me being out here on the road, and I get it. And a while ago I was starting to feel annoyed, because my alcoholic self was becoming angry, and the thoughts that were in my mind were like, she needs to understand that I gotta work for my family and blah 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 blah, all that shit. And I started praying, to God to relieve me from this feeling that I'm feeling. Because I don't like to feel annoyed. And usually when I start to feel annoyed, I have to take a step back and spot check everything and kind of figure out what has led me to this feeling. Because as an alcoholic, that's where it starts for me. It starts in my mind, and it's really easy for me to forget why I'm feeling the way I do. So I have to hurry up. I have to hurry up and kind of figure these things out. So, and I was praying to God, asking God what I should do next. And in my mind, I kind of made a little joke. Well, I wonder what God would tell me. He would probably say, son, all that bullshit you talk on YouTube, why don't you try following it? Why don't you try doing it? So I was like, yeah, that's right. So this is what I did. I gave it to him. I'm powerless. I'm powerless. I can sit down here and think about it all day long and get even more pissed off and upset. And have it manifest into something worse, which I'm an alcoholic, it will. Or I can admit that I'm powerless over this and that it will eventually become unmanageable. And it will eventually manifest into something else. So, gotta give it to God. I have to give it to my higher power. There has to be something greater than myself that I have to give this to. And for me, that's Jesus Christ. That is my higher power. And I get it. If none of you new guys are having a hard time with the God thing, don't worry about it. Because if I was your sponsor, here's what I would do. Okay? Here's what I would tell you to do. Do something that is greater than yourself. Or relying on something that is greater than yourself. Just in the beginning, it doesn't have to be God. It can be the meetings. It can be you can read your big book. You can talk to another alcoholic. You can bring up your situation to another alcoholic or bring it up in a meeting. And if you don't want to do that and you're still feeling like shit and you're still allowing your will to run you, the next best thing is going up on the side of the road and picking up cigarette butts. Yeah, it sucks, but it's something greater than yourself. Would you normally do it? No, you wouldn't. If you're like me and you're an alcoholic, you're gonna be lazy and you're not gonna pick any. You're not gonna want to do shit. But do you know what picking up butts on the side of the road is going to do for you and for other people? Here's what it's going to do. For the worker that has to go and pick up these butts, he or she gets to stay inside in the AC, and the road gets to look a little better than what it usually looks. I mean, and for you, it's going to get you out of yourself. Okay? So not only are you relying on something higher than yourself, you're giving your will to this thing that is higher than yourself. Picking up butts on the side of the road. I mean, look, prisoners have to go pick up butts or trash on the side of the road. I mean, I'm sure they enjoy it because it gets them out of their jail cell. I mean, and guess what? They have to go back to their jail cell. You have a choice, just like I have a choice. Do I want to choose to stay in the jail cell that I create inside of my mind? No. I mean, yeah, I have a choice. I can choose to stay in the jail cell in my brain, or I can get out and do something that is greater than myself. Okay, I can choose to rely on something much greater than myself, which is be of service to society. And guess what? I don't have to go back to that jail cell like these prisoners on the side of the roads do. Guess what? If you stay in self for too long, yeah, you're gonna drink and you're going to do something stupid. It's gonna manifest, and guess what? You're gonna get caught drinking and driving. You might kill somebody, and then you're gonna end up like one of the inmates on the side of the road picking up cigarette butts. And you're gonna be thinking, you're gonna be wondering, you're gonna wish you had listened to that crazy drunk on YouTube. Anyways, now, with that said, eventually, that's something greater than yourself that you do, because it's kind of hard to rely on this thing, this God idea. Eventually, you're going to start to feel some miracles. You're going to start to notice some real special things going on in your life. I mean, and I can tell you this: the very first miracle that I experienced was the fact that there was this 1 week in the program where I noticed that I was not romancing the drink. I wasn't craving anymore. It dawned on me. Oh wow! I was like, fuck. Because if you're an alcoholic like me, there in the end, I didn't think I would ever quit. I didn't believe that there was anything out there that could help me drink, or help me stop the drink. I mean, it was a fucking miracle. I mean, and I tell you what, the other miracle was this extreme sense of gratitude. I was so grateful that I was feeling good, that I wasn't drinking, and that I was finally becoming this good person. I mean, so, and if that doesn't help you to believe in a God, in the whole God idea, trust me, there's more miracles to come. More miracles to come. There's a lot of atheists, there's a lot of agnostics who entered the program and now to this day believe in something greater than themselves, or believe in a God of their own understanding. And the fact of the matter is, because of this program, I've learned to standardize my own idea of a higher power, if that makes sense. I mean, but yeah, So giving my will to something greater than myself is a part of my, well, it's part of it's part of the 12 steps, and if I don't do it, I die spiritually and mentally and eventually physically, and eventually I drink. And when I drink, the phenomenon of craving starts to eyes within my body, and one is too many and two's not enough, and guess what, third DWI, or I could kill someone. So it's very important that I do these steps this way. It's very important that I think about this. It's very important that I change the inner dialogue. It's very important. And through this, my relationship with my higher power has enriched. I can't explain. I can't explain it, but I know that this whole higher power thing and God thing, well, it kind of scares some people away. In my higher power, Jesus, me and him have come to the understanding that talking about God in the beginning is probably not a good idea, because it scares people away. Especially if you're pushing it down somebody's throat. And honestly, it makes sense. I have friends. I know some it's a real, very, very conservative religion. And well, their parents shoved it down their throat, and to this day, they're sick. They are spiritually sick. They can recite the Bible to you all day long, but they're spiritually sick. They don't want to have anything to do with God. And a lot of them are alcoholics. A lot of them are like me and you. So, God, the whole idea of God, when you're ready to accept God, that's when you're ready to accept God. But part of step 2 is to rely on something greater than yourself, something that can restore you to sanity. And guess what? Picking up butts on the side of the road is good enough. So get her done. And that's what I got. And honestly, I feel better about the way I was feeling earlier. The road can take a toll on it. I've noticed that it can take a toll on me if I let things, if I let it. Because all I'm doing out here is thinking. And yeah, I love talking to God, but I'm alcoholic. My mind's gonna veer, and I'm gonna start thinking about other shit. But guess what? I have the 12 steps, and I am very grateful for the 12 steps. I am very grateful for Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm very grateful for the man that reached his hand out to me and lifted me out of my shit. And very, very grateful. Anyhow, that's what I got. If you're new to the program, get your ass to a meeting. Get the big blue book. Start reading it. Start listening for the similarities in meetings. If you don't have a job, keep going to meetings. Listen to get your sponsor. Listen to what your sponsor has to say. And remember, the suggestions are not really suggestions. They're do it or die. So that's what I got. Let me get back to this road. Take it easy.